Hello, everybody. I'm Jordi Baylina. I'm the technical lead at Polygon zkEVM. Okay. So, as many of you know, zkEVM is the next chapter of Ethereum scaling. Okay. And why was zkEVM a big challenge? Well, in order to understand that, let me explain you a little bit how zkRollup works. Okay? From the user perspective, imagine that you want to do a transaction on a rollup. Okay? So what you will do is you will connect with MetaMask like you connect to any other chain. And you should be able to do anything that you can do in Mainnet, you will do it in the rollup, in the zkEVM. Okay? So the first stage that you will do is you will send this transaction to a sequencer. In this case, at the beginning, it's going to be a centralized sequencer, like most of the rollups right now. This centralized sequencer, it will give you already a trusted state. This state is final as far as you trust this centralized sequencer. Okay? So this is the first stage. The second stage is at once in a while, maybe I don't know, 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, the sequencer will send these transactions to layer 1. Okay? Here is where the data availability will send. Once these transactions are in layer 1 and are sequenced, then you will have like what we call it a trusted state. It's a state that anybody can compute because you have the transactions on chain, so you can, if these transactions are processed in a deterministic way, you know exactly what's the current state of the network. And so they are final. They are saved on chain. They are final. But this state we call, that's an implicit state. It's a virtual state. It's a state that anybody can compute, but is not on chain. Okay? And in the last step, maybe once every half an hour or something like that, it's going to be another transaction that will take all these transactions that are on chain and will generate a proof that these transactions are processed in a specific way, and you will have the state on chain. It's at this point where you will be able to withdraw the funds, for example, from the layer 1. Okay? And the big trick here for the zkEVMs is this prover. Okay? This prover, actually, what it needs to do, it needs to create a validity proof or a zero-knowledge proof that, okay, that you are proving that if you go from a specific state root and you apply a set of transactions, you go to this new state root. But these transactions are standard Ethereum transactions. These transactions can be send funds, can be deploy a smart contract, can be execute something on the smart contract, can be anything. And they have exactly the same format. They are RLP. Okay, so building a circuit here is the biggest challenge part. In the case of the Polygon zkEVM, we created an architecture that allows us to build that. And it's a multi-layer architecture. So we have the, if you want, the basic thing is the polynomials and the polynomial identities. This is very much to understand you, if instead of building a proof, we were building electronics, it would be like the transistors, would be like the basic pieces of this. With these polynomials, we built a processor, a zk processor. Okay? But actually, it's a state machine. It's a processor. It's something that they can take a program, execute this program, and have a specific state. Okay? And we created also a language for writing this kind of hardware. Okay? So we built a processor. And on top of this processor has its own assembly. So we built the assembly, and we built a program on top of this processor that emulates Ethereum. That actually this program is taking transactions as an input, and it processes the transactions following exactly the same rules as Ethereum. Okay? And in order to do that, well, we had a lot of challenge to solve because this processor, they needs to do 256 bits operations. It needs to do the easy recover, signature verifications. You need to do catch-ups. You need to do many things. Okay, and this has been the huge work for the last 2 years. Okay, but there is a last challenge. Okay, once we finish that, 3-4 months ago, the last challenge was about security. Okay? And this is what I want to talk very much about now. As you can imagine, there is a bunch of lines of code, new lines of code, new systems. So it's a lot of things that can go wrong. Okay? So this requires a huge review, a huge auditing, and a huge process for that. Okay, so for the last 3 months, mainly what we have been running is running a lot of audits. We run 2 external audits and 1 internal audit. More than 24, more than 26 individuals were working in specific pieces of all the code. We run also an internal audit. We went really deep on that. And we found many things. Even we found some optimizations and some improvements. Has been a huge work on that. Okay, some of the things were critical. We had to define even a way to, so the auditors need to learn what are those processes to audit all this code. The truth is that auditing this was relative. Okay. Okay, I'm continuing here. Do not leave yet. So, yeah. So this is this has been running. These teams has been running for many things. We found many things. We had to learn how to do these audits. We created a full process for doing these audits. Actually, these auditors created different process, different ways to testing, and I can tell you that these are the best auditors that we can get during this time. Okay. After, well, these auditors, you can, just to see the magnitude of this, I mean, these are the different pieces that the zkEVM has. The PIL is this, like this hardware language, where is this processor is defined. We have a storage, which is like another processor explicitly for working with the sparse Merkle tree here for the storage, how you do the storage, so it's like a full topic in there. We have the ROM. This is the program that's running on top of the processor that needs to be audited and checked. We have the smart contracts. Of course, we have smart contracts as the rollup that needs to be audited and checked too. And we have all the cryptography side. Here we are using very much Starks and Flonk in the last stage. So, and all this process needs to be audited and checked that's the right way. Okay. Besides that, once we finish these audits, we are finishing the last one. So probably in 1-2 weeks, we will start the bug bounty program. Here I invite you and any of the developers that are interested in zkEVMs just to invite you to take a look, to review. There are some incentives to do that. We have a lot of material and documentation to learn that. So if you are interested on that, we will run this bug bounty program on that. Okay? But with all this, the question is, are we ready to launch the mainnet? Okay? Because, I mean, there is a lot of things on the stake. Okay? So let's do a kind of a risk analysis. Okay? So when we have this zkEVM, it's like we need to say, okay, what can go wrong and how critical is that? Okay? So in order for that, we split the things that can go wrong in 4 different things. Okay? One thing is something is wrong in the smart contracts, and the last 3 things is something goes wrong in the prover. Okay? If we focus in the smart contracts, this is like, I mean, this is a known technology. So we ran 2 audits of the smart contract. We check on that. We didn't find any major things in there. But, I mean, we went deep on that. And this is a known technology somehow, okay? So this would be critical if something is wrong in the smart contract. But here we have a high confidence that the smart contracts are going to be okay. Again, 0 guarantee. It's impossible. But we have good confidence on that. From the audits, here we have 3 things that can go wrong. What we talk about correctness. Correctness means that you are proving something that the prover said you send a transaction and the result of the transaction is actually that you steal funds, or that your balance account just gets much higher, for example. This would be a correctness problem. This is really critical on this, so that you are executing the opcodes and you are doing what you're supposed to do. Okay. For this, besides running the audits and the bug bounty, here we have a lot of confidence because our system is passing all the Ethereum tests. That means that we are getting all the we have all the test suite from Ethereum. We are taking all the relevant tests, which is more than 13,000 tests, and we are passing all of them. Okay, this is what gives us the warranty that that the correctness of the proof is going to be okay. Again, not 100% sure. Okay, but this these tests and these audits give us enough confidence to launch Mainnet. Okay. The last two things is, one is soundness. Soundness is more tricky. I would say that this is much easier that a soundness bug is in the prover. A soundness is when you can, a soundness in the prover means that with the same state and with the same transactions, you can compute two different states. Okay? This would be a soundness. This would be a typical example of soundness program. Okay? In this case, we are putting a mitigation here. That the mitigation is we are going to be at the beginning. We are going to be the only prover that can process that. Actually, this is not really true. We are going to be the only prover as far as we are building proofs. If we accumulate a delay of more than 5 days, then anybody will be able to run the prover. Okay, but because we are the main prover, we will not prove something wrong. Okay, so these soundness programs these soundness bugs are mitigated as far as you trust this, as far as you trust us, so as far as you trust the prover. So this is not the best, because actually you should not even trust us, but at least we know that at the beginning of when we are starting this, we have the warranty, the users have the warranty that the prover is going to act correctly. And even after we remove as a trusted prover, the smart contract also contains a kind of a mechanism that is, if you sign to proof that goes to different state, then the smart contract will also halt. And then, of course, there will be something wrong, and we have to update. Okay? And the last thing that can go wrong is a little bit more specific for the prover, is that imagine that you have a transaction that you cannot prove, so that you cannot generate the proof. This is a state, and then what would happen here is that the rollup would just stop. You cannot generate proof, so the rollup would stop. For this, the mitigation is quite easy. What we do is just, well, if in a week nobody is generating a proof, then the system will halt, and we will be able to update the system. Okay? So this is I'll explain a little bit. This is the mitigations. This is the trailing bills. Some of them I already explained it. Okay, we have centralized sequencer, we have a trusted prover, we have this soundness bug detection by the smart contracts. We have this protection against this improbable transaction, and even on top of that, we will add temporary, at least while we are in beta, we will add also a escape hatch, kill switch. It's going to be a security council that at any moment will be able to just push a button and halt the system so that we can upgrade. This is going to be run for independent people from Polygon, and it's going to be just temporarily the thing. If we remove this last one, then we will be according to Vitalik's classification, we will be in training wheels 2. Okay. At the beginning, we're going to be training wheels 1 because this last one. Okay. So I would say yes, we are ready for Mainnet. It's a Mainnet beta. Okay. And we're very excited for that, and I think it's an important milestone for the community. But again, it's a beta. I think it's important that the users that's using this network understand the risk. We want to be very transparent. We are going to publish all the audits. All the code is available. You can check on that. I would ask you to give a try, to try this network, but don't go crazy. I mean, don't put $1 billion in the network and then we have some issue here. Okay, but I wanted to explain that we will launch, if everything goes okay, on March 27, and yeah, just very excited for this main event. So thank you, and I'm going to take questions right now. Yeah, we have 6 minutes, so I've been much faster. If there is no questions, yeah, there is questions. Okay, that's great.
Why select Flonk, right?
Why Flonk?
Yeah, why was the thought process behind that selection?
Yeah, the Flonk is, I mean, so our main prover is a Stark, and it's a set of recursive Starks on top of that. And it's in the just in the last state that we're verifying a Stark with a circuit, with a Snark. Here you could choose Grow16. Here you could choose Plonk, or you could choose Flonk. Flonk is a variant of Flonk that has the advantage that the verification cost is more or less the same that Grow16. So it's very cheap verifying a proof on chain. It costs, I think it's about 235,000 gas units, which this is really low. It's like Grow16. And it's the same that Plonk. It doesn't require trusted setup. Actually, well, it takes it requires the universal trusted setup, but this is already run, but doesn't require a specific trusted setup. So it has the same advantage of Plonk, but it's much cheaper to verify. The inconvenience here is that the proving time is a little bit, it's much longer, but because this is the last stage of the prover, it doesn't take that much, okay? And I think it takes something like about 1 minute, and if you are doing that every 30 minutes, for example, it's more than enough time. We're improving that side. But this is it's quite new. We are running right now an audit, so one of the audits that we are finishing right now is the Flonk protocol itself and the implementation of the Flonk protocol. But this is one of the new things that we are adding that I think is interesting for these systems. If there is, oh yeah, okay.
Thank you. I had a question about the trusted prover stage of it. Over what period of time, ballpark, would you say would be like the future for moving away from a trusted prover to trustless?
Let's see. Here we need to define exactly, but the idea is we want to remove as fast as we can the kill switch, the escape hatch. This is the most centralized part that we have. I expect that once, maybe, I don't know, 1-2 months of running the system, and we don't find any big thing, we plan to remove on that. We will continue doing audits and this bug bounty, and we'll see how confident we are, but we need to remove that very soon. And regarding the trusted prover, the idea is to start lowering down this time, so that we start with 5 days, and then we go 4, 5, 3, 2, 1, and actually at some point we just remove, and we just try to let the market, anybody just can generate the proof and start this prover market start spinning up. I think this will be very, very soon because we have the other protection. So we can be like running a prover in the shadow, and if there is something wrong, we can always generate the right proof and halt the system. So even for that, I think that this is some mechanism that we will spin up really soon. I don't know. If I need to tell you a time, I'm thinking about a few months. But again, we need to just plan and that. Just before finishing, I want also to maybe give you a little bit, so what's the future after the launch. We want to work very much with the EIP 4844. Rollups, the main limitation of rollups, the bottleneck of rollups are and will be the data availability. So even in the zk, the prover is not the limitation anymore. The cost of the impact of the proving cost in the transactions is not an issue anymore. It's really cheap on that. So we need to focus in the data availability, data compression. We want to also improve a lot the sequence, because the sequencer, I mean, if you want to scale, you want to increase at least one order of magnitude in the sequencer. And of course, we also want to start working in the decentralized sequencer. It's a little bit the near future for the zkEVM, but still a lot of work to do. And of course, we want to finish. So we have some precompiled smart contracts that are not implemented yet, like Pairings and SHA-256 and Blake mainly, and we will add those in the next version of the rollup in a few months, probably. So this is a little bit the short-term roadmap for the zkEVM project. So guys, if there is no questions, thank you very much, and let's give a try to the testnet.